What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another exciting episode of The Commerce of Comics. As always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Chris. Chris, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. What's going on?
Not bad, not bad. Just surviving from the blizzard that we just experienced. Hopefully all of you guys are doing well and safe. And wherever you are, if you're in New England, New York area like us, then you probably just got hit with like a foot of snow. And winter is definitely here.
Good comic reading weather. That's it.
That's it.
Double snow sucks.
Before the snow at the beginning of the week, last weekend, I was able to venture out and attend a small Comic-Con, you could say, or comic show at least, in the middle of Connecticut. And that was fun. First time I've attended anything that even remotely resembles a Comic-Con. So it was cool. It was a bunch of local shops and private collectors that came together and rented out, I guess, a VFW hall and put together a small show last Sunday. So that was fun. Perhaps you are checking this show out for the first time as a result of that. As you might have seen, I was leaving some of our business cards around the showroom floor and by the entrance. So maybe you picked up one of those and checking us out. If so, welcome. We love to have you here. Reach out to us and join the conversation. Just wanted to mention, this was last weekend's big pull, the big event for me. This was Thor God of Thunder #2 in a 9/6. First Gore the God Butcher, going to be featured in the upcoming Thor 4 played by Christian Bale. So more on this book, more on some other Thor books. As that movie approaches, we're going to do a Thor exclusive episode at some point because we haven't done that yet. But as far as this episode is concerned, we're here to talk about this man right here, Clark Kent, a.k.a. the Man of Steel, a.k.a. the Last Son of Krypton, a.k.a. Kal-El, a.k.a. Superman. Is that it?
That's it. I think it's it.
Right. Okay.
It's good enough. They get it.
All right. So before we get started, wanted to also mention, I like to film every time I go to one of these shows. And when Chris and I finally get back to a show like Terrificon or New York Comic-Con, we're going to do some filming there, maybe even some live. So before we jump into Superman, let's roll that beautiful B footage and show you what you guys missed out last weekend. All right. Well, that was exciting. And hopefully you guys turn out for the next one. If you are in the area, just remember that it's the VFW in Plainville, and there's going to be another show Sunday, February 28th. So mark your calendars. Hope to see you there.
Maybe I can make this one. We'll see.
I hope so, man. I'd love to see you. All right. So, Superman, I believe you're starting off the episode first. So, what do you got for us, Chris?
Yeah. Got some good stuff here. None of us can get Action Comics one, right? It's pretty much unless you hit one of these lotteries a few weeks ago that I don't know about. We're not getting anytime soon. So, just trying to go through, grab a couple books here or there. You mentioned, you want to do Superman. We got the Snyder Cut's coming out in March. So hopefully this cut and this what's going to be like 6 hours? I don't know if you even call it an extended version at this point, or like,
I think you need to build in a pee break or two. Yeah.
It's like mini-series that come out. Hopefully it reinvigorates, and maybe Warner Brothers lets the directors do what they're going to do and stop kind of meddling in some things. But, the good news is, I think outside of a few of the major books, there's a lot of undervalued books for Superman you can get out there, and I'm gonna start off with Adventure Comics 283. So this is the first appearance of General Zod. First appearance of Negative Zone and Dr. I don't know if I'm Zadu. I think he's in the movie as well in the Henry Cavill films, And I mean, Zod, he's been in a few movies at this point. I mean, look, he's not the greatest cover in the world, but I mean, he's a top-notch villain for Superman. And you can get a pretty high-grade copy of this for well under $1,000, and I think it's definitely, I'm glad to have it in the collection because I got this because it is hard to find Superman books. And I do think when you look at whatever a Marvel kind of counterpart to this is, kind of one of the big Spider-Man villains, like this is kind of pennies on the dollar to that. And not all those Spider-Man villain covers are, basically the best covers in the world either. So I don't know. This is one of my picks for go out, find it. Nice undervalued book, especially if you want some nice DC book. And it's from 61, I think. Yeah, 61. So this is an old book too. So that's where I'm starting. What do you got?
Huge fan of General Zod. Kind of jealous of that book. That is a great addition to your collection. Love Zod. Love what they've done with him from Terrence Stamp all the way up to the most recent, Henry Cavill movie you mentioned. He's great. He's perennial. I'm sure they're going to find a way to bring him back again in some form. So, yeah, can't get enough Zod. For me, I'm going to start. You started with early, 50 years ago. I'm going to go with something brand spanking new. So I actually won't spend too much time talking about it because I did talk a little bit about this book in a previous episode. Mm-hmm. So this is Future State. Future State is going on right now. It's going to continue on until the end of February. I'm looking forward in a couple weeks from now. They're going to have the House of L, which is like a one-shot talking about even the beyond one generation. So this is Jonathan Kent, Clark's son. We're going to be having Jonathan's boy and girl, son and daughter, and what they're up to in that House of L thing. But this is Future State, Superman of Metropolis. So we've got Jonathan Kent there. This is the main cover. And then we've got the Inyuk, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we've got the Inyuk Lee variant cover, which is bad. So this is a good read. This was, without spoiling too much, you can see that Jonathan Kent is holding something there, and they're using this Kandorian technology, whatever, so he can actually shrink the city of Metropolis in order to save it, kind of like they do with Kandor. And it's interesting read. It's instead of creating yet another version of Brainiac, it's like Brainiac mixed with some LexCorp technology, and he becomes brain cells, but deep down it's still Brainiac, and he has some ulterior motives. Right. So it's so go read it. It's a good read.
I mean, people were kind of panning all the Future State books, I think, as a whole. A few bright spots, Batman, Wonder Woman, a couple things like that. But I tell you what, you go into a few of the comic shops, at least around here in New England, and all the books are gone already. I mean, you can't. There are a couple, I did not request any of my pull lists for any of the Superman books, and I figured I'd walk in, judging, from basically, other YouTube channels and things like that. And all the Future State books are gone. If you didn't have requested, they're gone. It's crazy.
So I have House of L requested on a pull list. I was able to pick up, I will totally back the decision to not make this the permanent future direction of DC Comics. I'm glad this is kind of just a limited run thing for a couple months, because these I think work better as short stories instead of trying to revamp and redo everything and set the the restart switch. But it's interesting, and like you said, there are a lot of first appearances as a result of this. So yeah, there's some cool covers, some cool first appearances, and stuff's hard to get, and stuff is probably going to be worth something one day. It
Yeah.
already is.
Yeah, some of the books popped a little bit. Well, going with that, I so finished up Death Metal, right? And so they have kind of the big battle. On top of all the Batman they have, you also had all these kind of like Universe Who Laughs villains, and they had a bunch of Supermen show up. And one was I think Superman was trapped in the sun for however long, and so he basically kind of looks like Sunspot from New Mutants. But so one character though, so all these Superman villains go to take him on, and one villain popped out to me as just kind of forgotten, and it's Silver Banshee. So I kind of forgot how she's actually a heavy hitter. She had a little bit of play in the Supergirl show recently, and she was in Smallville, right, way back in the day. But I mean, she's a heavy hitter. She can go toe to toe with Kryptonian. Maybe not take him out, in any comic history, but can definitely, hold her own. And I just think that this is a cool cover. It's not really an expensive book by any stretch. I mean, you can see I still got the pricing on, but $10, then the cash price and whatnot from the dealers. But I mean, this one, not too hard to find, and I think she's a pretty good villain. You never know, they haven't used her in the movies. I think it's got a lot of play. There's a lot of people like Black Canary, and so I could see it just yin and yang to that, so to speak. And I don't know, I would go pick it up. So I grabbed this, and just reminded me of how, I don't know, if she knows your name, your number's up. Yeah,
right.
Even a superpowered Superman gave him a go. I
mean, you mentioned, Black Canary was also in Smallville, and then here we are years later, like she's in the Birds of Prey movie. So, maybe this character comes back sometime
all
soon.
The Arrowverse stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. That's a cool cover too. And speaking of cool covers, I know you also have this book. This was a recent pickup for me not too long ago, and it's also, you're going to find this in your dollar bin, $5 bin at most. Got this out of like a $5 bin a few months ago, but this is the first appearance of the electric blue Superman. So you've got like he's all in blue, you've got like the lightning radiating from him. The cool thing about this is that the direct edition glows in the dark. Now I'm too far away from my light switch to do this now, but the newsstand version doesn't glow in the dark. This does, so that's kind of cool. And this was from like the late 90s, like 97, I believe. So yeah, it's kind of cool. That's
the best of the 90s, man. All these glow in the dark and hollow foil and die cut covers and everything.
That's right.
Let me see. I'm going to actually double down, speaking of dollar boxes, and Silver Banshee, second appearance. This is, I should have said so her first appearance is Action Comics $5.95. And this is Superman 17. This is her second appearance. See, like I said, she kind of gave the big blue Boy Scout, once over there. And this is, dollar bin book. But this is their second appearance. I don't know. I doubled down on the character when I saw these books. And so for $1, why not? Like I said. All right.
So what, I'll just go back for those watching at home. I didn't mention the title. So that was Superman number 123. What title was that? I don't think you said it.
It's Superman 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
And the other one, Action. First appearance, Action, $5.95.
Cool. All right. Next for me is Action Comics number 458. Now, this is from 1976. And I know, Chris, you weren't familiar with this when we were talking earlier, but this is a lesser known Superman villain, and he's right there dressed in the green and purple. His name is Blackrock, as it says down here. So this is the first appearance of Blackrock. He is holding what appears to be rabbit ears, like old school TV antenna, that's shooting out some form of lightning at Superman. So Superman can take out some really big bads, but then in the end of the day, he's brought down by an old set of rabbit ear antennas.
Yeah, it's speaking of B-roll. I don't know if that's going to translate to the big screen, my friend.
Well, I don't know. The 70s were before our time, so I don't know. Maybe they hit a lull. I guess they were out of ideas.
You never know. He could have been one of these in some of the 6 hours of Snyder Cut. There he is. A little Easter egg.
If they can't get Ryan Reynolds to do a cameo as the Green Lantern, maybe they can get Blackrock.
Yeah, why not? What are you doing? They'll cast you.
I'm available, Hollywood. Give me a call.
All right.
I have some high school drama experience.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Stay focused.
So, oh, God. All sorts of nerding going on now. I'm going back to the, to some of the older movies and stuff. Superman, Man of Steel 18, First Doomsday. I mean, I feel like saying that I go through the boxes. You can find these sometimes in dollar boxes still. Definitely in the $5 boxes. I like the cover. I think I have a really nice issue with this. I think I submitted for 9.8 because again, you just can't get these Superman books. This is when, to date myself, like I remember like all of us were kind of getting this is right before Death of Superman. All of us, when I was in basically middle school, were getting our moms to go wait online at a comic shop to pick up, 75. So this is obviously, right around that time. And, just childhood memories. And so like, I don't know, I just want to have a 9.8 if I can get it. And, the book you're looking for is, I'll put this on Instagram, but up in the corner, they have all these different printings. The Superman, the color of the title changes, but you're looking for these Roman numerals, and if you get, I believe it's 5. That's where the money is because they hardly printed any of them, and it might have a DC Universe logo. I forget. I got to double check everything, but definitely that 5 in the corner. Otherwise, these are, really nice shape. You're talking maybe a $25 book. Honestly, definitely 9.8 under $100 right now, and it's just, I don't know. It's just that wonderful 90s, kind of. Just we printed a million of them, but I don't know. Here it is.
That was huge between, right. 91 with like rebooting the X-Men, Jim Lee, Chris Claremont, and then 2 years later, Death of Superman or whatever, like Doomsday.
Yep.
That was our childhood. That was big.
Right. Then they broke Batman's back.
Which we're gonna do. Stay tuned for a special message at the end of this episode. You won't want to miss it. But that is true. All right. Next up for me is The Adventures of Superman number 424. Now, you might say, okay, well, this says premiere issue, The Adventures Begin, and yet this is clearly number 424. So what's going on? He's looking all super American there in his Superman pose. You've got the World Trade Center, rest in peace. You've got bald eagle there on his arm. So this is from 1987. And this was the issue where the title changed from Superman to The Adventures of Superman, but they kept it going in content. The story kept going in continuity. This is, aside from that changeover, this is the first appearance of Cat Grant, who works with Lois and Clark at the Daily Planet. And this is also the first appearance of Sam Lane, Lois's father. So, characters that very quickly, if you were old enough like I was to appreciate, Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman in the mid-90s, within like 6 or 7 years of this book coming out, they had Cat Grant, as a big character in that show. plus Lois's father would pop in and do guest star appearances all throughout, I think, the 4 seasons of that show. So they very quickly became mainstream characters, but again, found this at a local shop for cover price, buried in a long box. So has a couple of really big first appearances, but also very affordable.
Yeah, look for that. I haven't seen that one. I feel like I've seen it in dollar boxes, but I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those covers. But
you can't miss it. It's the World Trade, the the bald eagle.
Yeah,
it's
nice. Put it out for 4th of July. It's great.
There you go.
All right. This is my double down episode. So this is the first full Doomsday out of his containment suit. So these are kind of, you can kind of see him on the wall sometime, real high grade, but again, it's like, this is out of the dollar box, guys. It's just kind of, I don't know. If you're gonna get Man of Steel 18, you might as well get Man of Steel 19. And I'm not sure how many printings they have of this. I think it's just really the first printing is the one you want. I don't know. I like both these covers. I'm hoping to get them, get some 9/8, get them graded, just kind of throw them on the wall for, maybe get a nice Superman statue one of these years. I got to work on my prop game because Vin's showing me up every episode. But
I just got all my pops. That's I love my pops. So there you go.
I can't go down that rabbit hole. Not yet. There's just too many of them. But I don't know. I like this one. Like I said, dollar box. I think it's worth getting. I mean, Doomsday. Doomsday's supposed to keep coming back. He's never supposed to really die. I mean, takes out Superman in 75, gives Darkseid a run for his money. I don't believe they're ever going to bring back a character. It's probably going to be Doomsday into the Warner Brothers, the DC extended universe. So what the heck? And they're all, like I said, you're talking under, pretty much get all the Doomsday keys for about $25. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we both have it, but there's like at least one or two other Doomsday books that we didn't talk about this episode so far. Like the green cover.
I forget the die cut with the Superman logo in it.
No, not that one. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll bring it out for the next one. Yeah. All right, so to wrap up, the last book from my side, we've got a one-shot here. This is from 2010. This is, Superman Earth 1. And this was, I think really well done. To be honest, I read it when it came out, so it's been a long time. Probably should dust it off and read it again. But this is cool, and it stands out in my mind because, and the reason why I'm ending with this is because I got this when it came out, and then a few years later, I want to say 2013, either 2012 or 2013, New York Comic Con, you and I went, and the penciler, Shane Davis, was there. And this was really the first time that I had gone down to Artist Alley and really started to engage with the artists, with Chris, who had already been doing it at that point. And it was really cool because he was a cool guy, and got to chat him up a little bit and got his autograph. And not only did he do the autograph, but he also did some free sketching there. So the nice gold, gold marker to go with the signature there. So this was really cool. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Hope to see you again someday. And yeah, that's it for me this week.
Well, the first negative space sketches.
Yeah.
Let me see. My last book, I actually finally got some spec for the episode here. All right, we got Final Crisis number 7. So this is the first appearance of the third Black Superman, Calvin Ellis. So he's the Superman of Earth 23. He is also president of the United States on that Earth. And he is the character that Michael B. Jordan says he would like to play if he does a Superman movie. So definitely some spec for this. There's a couple covers. Definitely, I don't know if it was an incentive, but a variant. Basically, it's, Superman's kind of up there with these, everything they're putting out today, In Hyuk Lee and everyone else. But this book, definitely you can find this in the dollar boxes. This is where I got it from. You can find it, for cover. And honestly, I think you're about $10 buy-in. And I mean, Michael B. Jordan's been, putting out some great movies and things like that. I mean, if he wants to play the character, I could see this being something maybe down the road, kind of along the vein of like, was it Marshala Ali calling up and just like, I want to be Blade, And
Yeah.
I think the climate's, everything's primed for this. And if they want a fresh take on the character, I don't think it's any fresher or relevant than this. So I would, I don't know. I like this book. I always look for this book. And it's a good little read, Final Crisis. It's a little tough because you have to know a lot of these characters, and it's a little tough in DC. But Wikipedia works wonders.
I think you bring up a good point. I think Michael B. Jordan's days in the MCU are over because I think Killmonger is good and dead, I guess, as far as dead as comic book characters can get. They can always resurrect him, but he did that. He already did his attempt at the as with Johnny Storm in the Fox Fantastic Four movie. So,
we don't speak about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the next logical step would be to jump to DC, and that seems like a perfect character for him. So we'll see. All right, well, that's it for this episode, and thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Stay tuned. We are going to do next time, we're going to do a Batman theme, so stay tuned for that coming up soon. We've already done Green Lantern, so check out episode 6. As you saw from the last episode, I had done a few books on Wonder Woman myself. Now you've got Superman. We're going to do Batman, and then we're going to talk probably some Flash, maybe Cyborg, Teen Titans, trying to get that all out of the way before the Snyder Cut comes out in March. So until next time, stay safe, stay nerdy.